There's great evening film action for Boxing Day on Thames. At 9, the British TV premiere of Who Dares Wins.
Everybody quiet! You are now hostages of the Revolution for Peace movement of the People's Lobby.
S-A-S.
Come in! What are we gonna do?
Come on, answer it, damn it! Answer it!
Lewis Collins leads the SAS in the British TV premiere of Who Dares Wins. Boxing Day film action at 9 on Thames.
We're gonna miss our flight.
Don't worry. You'll catch your plane.
You missed one!
Better fly.
Over the last 2 years, everyone at British Airways has been trained in the art of putting people first. We seem to have taken it to heart. No wonder British Airways is the world's favorite airline.
Now there's a perfect conditioner for naturally beautiful hair. New Timotei Conditioner with natural herb extracts. Timotei Conditioner leaves your hair easy to manage, soft and silky, with the fresh smell of summer meadows. New Timotei Conditioner.
The sale to go to is The Sale at Debenhams. Get there any way you can, but get there. The Sale at Debenhams.
Whatever you've forgotten or run out of this Christmas or New Year, batteries, biscuits, videos, Coke, ice cream, just about anything, don't forget 7-Eleven. We've got it all in one. So if you're missing something this holiday, don't go crazy. Go to 7-Eleven.
Here's wishing you an even whiter Christmas.
Hello, George. Hello, Mary. Picking up some bargains, are we?
Afraid not, Griffin. We never seem to have enough money saved at the right time.
Ah, we need to talk about a save and borrow account. Walk this way, madam. Sir?
Oh, I see. If we save a regular amount each month...
We can borrow up to 30 times that amount, any time we like.
Got it in one. And you earn good interest when you're saving, don't forget. Save and borrow certainly makes a difference at sales time, eh?
I'll say.
Ah, something wrong, Griffin?
No. Just a little bargain I couldn't resist. Open a Midland Save and Borrow account at the Listening Bank.
If you need help this Christmas and you don't know where to turn, try ringing us. We're here until Monday on 387-1919.
Christmas Line!
Oh, Christmas Line, can I help you?
Next Monday at 9:15, L'Enfance du Christ, the Childhood of Christ. For the first time on television, a fully dramatized version of Berlioz's Christmas Oratorio. A stunning production that draws together some of our finest voices and musicians in a feast of beautiful costume settings. With choreographer and dancers from the Royal Ballet, and with singers drawn from Covent Garden, the English National Opera and Glyndebourne, L'Enfance du Christ is a major television event. Next Monday at 9:15 on Thames. This performance is available on record and cassette.
This is Thames from London.
Police storm siege flat with stun grenades and guns. Rising floodwaters in the south, snow threatens the north. Tribal warfare brings bloodiest Christmas ever to South Africa. And Wayward Lad gallops into the record books. Good evening. The Christmas siege drama in Middlesex ended tonight in bloodshed and confusion as armed police from Scotland Yard's crack C11 squad stormed the flat with stun grenades. The 4-year-old girl, held at knife point for 28 hours, was rescued and taken to hospital with minor stab wounds. Her captor, Errol Walker, was hit by 2 police marksman's bullets, but not badly hurt. The decision to storm the flat in Northolt was tonight criticised by some neighbours who claimed the police had overreacted. The siege began on Christmas morning after the child's mother staggered from the flat with stab wounds, and she died later.
As the siege entered its second day, police were confident it would end peacefully. Walker was still talking as police showed they weren't armed. But he refused a woman friend's plea to give himself up. "You're surrounded," she said. And police were taking no chances. Armed men moved to position, and firemen had a safety net at the ready after further threats from Walker against his 4-year-old hostage. The stress of the siege showed when Walker brandished his knife at police, who were still hoping their waiting game would pay off. But the siege was to end as it began, with violence. Walker, crouching in his doorway, made a dash along the balcony for a police riot shield. As he raced back, police came out of their hiding places to pounce and missed him. Then seeming hesitation about what to do next. Despite renewed threats from Walker against his hostage, they stormed the flat with stun grenades. Three shots rang out in the confusion. Walker was hit twice. After 29 hours, the siege was over. Carleen was carried out suffering from 2 minor stab wounds. She's now recovering in hospital. Walker's limp form was dragged to another ambulance and taken away. He's not badly hurt. Police had to calm people on the estate. One woman tried to attack them with a knife as feelings ran high. Things became quieter when they were told Carleen was still alive. Some of them are saying the police missed opportunities to end the siege earlier, and when they did go in, there was no need to use guns. Simon Cole, ITN, Northolt.
Within the last half hour, the police have issued a statement strongly denying either hesitating or overreacting. They say they had to change their earlier policy of wait and see when Walker threatened to stab his young hostage.
Circumstances changed it for us. We didn't change it, circumstances changed it for us. And I think that we had no option. Once he'd come out, as I said to you earlier, that we'd considered this option, that we then had to go in the interests of saving the life of this young child.
You spoke of the prompt entry, but in fact it was nearly 30 seconds.
Well...
and there was a great deal of hesitation. What was that all about?
Well, I don't accept that totally. The whole period from beginning of the incident of him coming out to the police action within the premises was only 45 seconds. I think that you would agree with me that in all the circumstances, bearing in mind that they had to go through a closed door, that was remarkably quick.
A leading expert on police siege tactics tonight questioned whether the police should have taken an earlier opportunity to end the siege. Michael Yardley analysed the storming for ITN.
Well, it seems odd that this sort of eventuality had not been pre-planned, or indeed if it had been pre-planned, that they weren't able to put some sort of plan into action rather more rapidly than in fact they did. But nevertheless, they weren't able to. And it appears that once they'd failed to stop him going back into the flat, they had actually made an aggressive move towards him. Now we see Walker has been considering what he should do. Now he's moving out of his flat to make a grab for the shield. Now, unfortunately, the police come back. They try and cut him off, but they don't manage to. Now we can see he's at the door now, talking to them. And is it possible that he's threatening the little girl's life? Now, the policeman appears, the R1 there, appears to be taking orders from someone else who's out of shot. And we see him break the window, and 5 seconds later, the stun grenade goes in. Now, another officer comes with a sledgehammer to try and gain entrance to the building. Saw one of the grenades going off then. Now, here is the main problem here. It seems to be taking them an awfully long time to get into that flat. About 10 seconds, in fact, before the first officer manages to gain entry.
And to put it bluntly, does it look like they knew what they were doing?
Well, I think it looks as if they could have done with a little bit more practice of this sort of specific operation. And I think one of the problems perhaps with police forces across Britain at the moment is that many officers are asked to do a job like this on a part-time basis, whereas, for example, soldiers in the Special Air Service, when they're not actually dealing with an incident, which thankfully is very rare, they're practicing for incidences which have not yet arisen.
It's been a Boxing Day of mopping up for thousands in southern England who've been hit by torrential rain and floods. Worst hit were Devon and Cornwall, where several villages were cut off and thousands of homes damaged. Many main roads there are still impassable, and rescue teams have been working round the clock to help those worst hit. An inch of rain has fallen in London alone in the past 24 hours, a third of the normal December rainfall. The Thames flood barrier will be closed tonight to guard against threatening high tides, only the second time it's been used since it opened 3 years ago. Police in Somerset and Avon are telling drivers to stay at home. In Buckinghamshire and the Thames Valley, several rivers burst their banks, and in Essex, sandbags were piled up on riverbanks to protect houses. The weathermen say the worst of the rain is over, but a new hazard is on the way, freezing temperatures and possibly even snow. Another of the 26 men jailed in last week's Belfast Supergrass trial has started a hunger strike in the Maze prison. He's Gerard Steenson, nicknamed Dr. Death, a member of the Irish Liberation Army who's serving 6 life sentences for murder. Robert Toohill, who's also serving life for murder, has been on hunger strike for the past week. The Defence Secretary Michael Heseltine has cancelled a family holiday to Nepal because of the crisis over Westland helicopters. It's understood he thinks it would be wrong to be out of the country while crucial decisions are taken about the future of the company. In Lebanon, Christian, Druze and Shiite Muslim leaders say they've agreed to a Syrian-sponsored peace pact. They say the deal will be signed within the next 5 days to end the civil war that split the country for 10 years. It's thought the agreement involves new elections in which Muslims would be guaranteed 50% of the seats. South Africa has had its bloodiest Christmas ever. 58 blacks have been killed in 3 days of violence, most of them in fierce clashes between Zulus and rival tribesmen near Durban.
At first light this morning, gangs of Zulu warriors were patrolling the townships of Mahatu after the Christmas Day killings that left more than 50 dead. It was the worst single day of violence since rioting began in South Africa 18 months ago. But these men were settling tribal, not political scores. It's unsure what sparked off the fighting, but Zulus and Pondos have been disputing land and cattle rights for years. But the scale of yesterday's violence, involving 5,000 men, was a throwback to the tribal wars a century ago, and their weapons had changed little. Out on the roads this morning, some of the hundreds of women fleeing the area, taking with them what few possessions they could. They'll stay out of the district until their men say it's safe to return. This morning, no sign of the security forces, but groups of Zulus were free to set up their own roadblocks as they continued the search for Pondo tribespeople. Peter Sharp, ITN in South Africa.
The Boxing Day sports programme was badly hit by the weather. Racing at Huntingdon was cancelled and 8 league football matches postponed. In the games that were played, Frank Stapleton gave league leaders Manchester United the lead at Everton, but then Graham Sharp got 2 as Everton came back for a 3-1 win. Manchester City's Clive Wilson did neighbours United a favour, getting the goal that beat Liverpool at Main Road. So with West Ham losing for the first time in 18 games and Chelsea's game postponed, United are still 4 points clear at the top. Now racing, and Borough Hill Lad was the odds-on favourite for today's big event, the King George VI Chase at Kempton. But by the final fence, he'd been left behind in a 2-horse race, leaving his great rival Wayward Lad to make racing history.
Wayward Lad and Coomsditch in the air together, touchdown together. Who shows a bit of turn of foot? Wayward Lad, what a grand old campaigner. Coomsditch looks like he's going to be second again, but he's fighting back. We're coming up towards the line. Wayward Lad and Coomsditch. Wayward Lad and Coomsditch. Wayward Lad wins it just from Coomsditch.
So Wayward Lad at 12-1 became the first horse to win the King George for the third time. Coomsditch was second at 3-1, Burrow Hill Lad was fourth. The RSPCA has fired the first shots in a nationwide campaign to get fox hunting banned. It came on the day that thousands of hunt enthusiasts all over the country gathered for the traditional Boxing Day meetings.
The Boxing Day hunt, gathering here in Surrey with a seasonal toast, a tradition now coming under increasing attack from those who want blood sports banned. Here, demonstrators outnumbered huntsmen, and their message was blunt.
It's all dissuaded by this kind of reception.
No, not in the least. I'm doing something entirely legal.
That's why the RSPCA are adopting a different angle of attack. Their 15-year stand against fox hunting starts a new campaign today, aimed at lobbying public opinion and MPs to change the law.
I think you've got to bear in mind that these people are carrying out, whether we like it or not, a legal pursuit. We want to make it illegal. That's all we want to do, but certainly not by injuring or threatening anybody.
But the pro-hunt lobby say the RSPCA won't win this battle.
I think it's rather sad because the RSPCA does so much good work in the cause of animal welfare. I think by coming out against fox hunting very strongly, they'll be alienating a large proportion of the community that does hunt.
But scenes like this need not disappear. The RSPCA merely want the fox taken out of hunting, leaving the hounds chasing a scent. Ian Glover-James, ITN in Surrey.
And just tonight's main headline again, the Christmas siege drama in Middlesex ended tonight in bloodshed and confusion as armed police from Scotland Yard's crack C11 squad stormed the flat with stun grenades. And that's the news this Boxing Day. Good night.
There's a variety of entertainment with something for everyone Monday night on Thames. At 6:30, it's What's My Line?
You're the man with all the answers, darling.
And that's the way it's going to stay, darling.
At 7 o'clock, the first of a new holiday series.
In Wish You Were Here this week, we visit France's top tourist attraction. They call it the Marvel, and a campsite fit for a king.
At 7:30, Fatherly Concern in Coronation Street.
Apart from something totally nutty, I can't see any sane reason for him kicking up a fuss.
At 8 o'clock, new comedy, All in Good Faith.
In all my years in the ministry, I've never heard such a rotten, boring speech.
Shh, Philip, he'll hear you.
And the opportunity not his, mine.
And at 8:30, there's top comedy and another Benny Hill show.
Don't you raise your voice to me, do you hear me?
A variety of entertainment and comedy with the start of 2 new series, Monday night on Thames.
Now, the weather. Any remaining showers will soon die out and temperatures will fall close to freezing, giving some icy patches on roads by morning. Tomorrow will be mostly dry and cold with some sunshine. Maximum temperatures only 3 Celsius, 37 Fahrenheit. And it'll be less windy. That's the weather. Next, the big action film, Who Dares Wins.
Now prices take a pounding in Allied's Price Breaker sale. We've smashed curtain prices to save you up to 60% on 2,000 ready-mades, with luxury velvets from a new low of $13.99. Free making on hundreds of made-to-measures and big savings on tracks, poles and blinds. The Allied sale starts Boxing Day at superstores, Friday at all other stores.
The showroom's a bit over the top, isn't it?
It's the Fiat Uno successor.
What success?
Car of the year 84, Europe's best-selling small car. Autocar called it the ultimate super mini.
Is that why you sell them then, because they're so successful?
Well, yes.
Well, if they're so successful, why do you give the special warranty and service offer?
Because they're so successful. Sir, cigar?
The Fiat Uno now comes with a free 3-year warranty and special service offer at all Fiat dealers.
Why's that pink duck only got one leg?
There's evening entertainment for everyone, Boxing Day on Thames. At 11:20, Dizzy in concert, a royal gala performance with Dizzy Gillespie. And special guest, Marion Montgomery.
Hey, round I go, way down I go like a leaf that is caught in the tide.
Evening entertainment with Dizzy in concert for Boxing Day at 11:20 on Thames.